Hey everyone, this is DWS Darius, and right now you're looking at my 75-gallon native aquarium. I know right away you guys noticed this fish over here. This is my pumpkin seed sunfish. And you may also notice that the tank looks very empty. Now the tank is not empty. There are about 5 other fish in this aquarium, but this guy is showing his true colors. You can see he's very beautiful, but he's also showing his true personality. And because of that, all the other fish in this tank are forced to hide. They stay in the shadows because if they come out, this guy will attack them. Now if you notice, the water is a little bit cloudy. There's a lot of particles and debris in the water. You can even notice some broken plants, and that's because this guy, where is he? This guy right here just went and harassed every other fish in the tank, especially my smaller pumpkin seed. So I have him, I have a smaller pumpkin seed, and then I have about 4 of these bluegills, and he's just harassing all of them. And I feel kind of guilty because I went out my way to make this guy tank boss. I had 2 other fish larger than him that were higher in the rank, but because they weren't showing any color, I took them outside into the backyard pond, and that made this guy the tank boss, being the 3rd largest fish. Now he's the largest, and he's the tank boss, and he's definitely a very nasty fish. So yeah, I chose this fish simply because he looked the best, but that definitely was not the best decision because he's just extremely aggressive. And you know, when it comes to being a tank boss, there's a lot of responsibilities. A perfect example is if you look up there, that orange fish hiding behind a rock. He thinks we can't see him. But that right there is my red devil. He's a good tank boss. He's aggressive only when necessary, and he keeps everything balanced. So there's a lot more than looking good, and that's something that this young sunfish doesn't know. Now previously, when I had my bluegill, who was about 6 inches, his 6 inches was about twice the size of all the other fish when he was in here, and because he was so much larger, he didn't feel the need to establish or to prove himself as much as this little guy. This guy right here is about 4 inches, and some of the other fish are pretty close in size, so because of that, I think that's the reason why he feels the need to push or to express his aggression so much. Look at him. So yeah, this guy is a monster, and this is how he spends the majority of his day, chasing everybody around, especially my other pumpkin seed. Now the other pumpkin seed, I just saw her, I think is a female, and she's inside a little cave back there, so she's hiding and she can't come out because if she does come out, she's going to get harassed. Now in this situation, I am left with 2 options to resolve it. The first one would be to remove the bully, and I could do that, put this guy in a pond. But the thing is, because these fish are so similar, the next fish in a rank is probably going to do the same thing. And I believe that the next ranking fish is a bluegill. And I have 4 other bluegill beside that bluegill. So he's just going to attack the bluegill the same way this guy is attacking all the other fish, especially the pumpkin seed. So because all the fish in this aquarium are very similar when it comes to their species, that aggression problem is always going to occur. So for me to get rid of him, the problem is going to come a little bit later down in the road. And the next option to solving this aggression problem would be to simply remove all the other fish from this tank and allow this pumpkin seed to be the only fish in this aquarium. Now, I won't be able to mix any sunfish or fish that will pose a threat, but I do believe that I will be able to mix community peaceful fish like shiners or minnows, and I think that he won't mess with them as long as they're not small enough to be eaten. So yeah, that's the other option. I will move everybody else out the tank and allow this to be the only fish in the aquarium. And that actually was my plan from the beginning. If you watch when I first set up this native tank, my goal was to get a solo fish or a mated pair. I don't think I'm going to get a mated pair because this guy is extremely aggressive towards the pumpkin seed. And honestly, I'm not even sure if this is a male or a female. These sunfish are pretty difficult to sex. I'm just going based on his personality. But yeah, that was my goal in the beginning, to end up with a solo fish or a mated pair, because this tank is a 75-gallon aquarium and these fish could reach, the pumpkin seed could reach about 8 inches while the bluegills could reach about 12 inches. So definitely when it comes to size, I can only fit 1 or 2. So yeah, it definitely would not be off from what I originally wanted. And over here, this is the smaller pumpkin seed, about 3 inches. And you can see, look at her face, such beautiful colors. But she can never come out because the other guy is just always trying to kill her. And look, she has to go and hide because if he sees her, he's going to chase her non-stop consistently for like a full minute, which is a lot for these fish, and it causes a ton of stress. Overall, these sunfish are some cool pets. I love just watching them. They are some very smart fish, but you know, a lot of times when you get a smart fish, you get a lot of aggression. And you really can't blame this guy. He's just doing what his instincts tell him to do. He's in a small tank with other fish that want his position. Every other fish in this tank wants to be the boss that he is, so he has the right to be defensive. It's just me now. I have to make sure I put him in the right environment to get the best enjoyment from him. But yeah, everyone, this right here is the native tank. And you know, when it comes to these native fish, there's not a lot of information when it comes to caring for them. It's not like, you know how with these tropical fish, you can go online and read an article, figure out what you need to do. With these native fish, it's pretty much learn as you go. So I'm definitely learning. And overall, I just want the best possible native tank that I can provide. And it just takes some experimenting, giving these fish what they want. And right now, what this guy wants is a tank to himself, and I'm going to give him that. Hopefully, when he's the only fish in the tank, he doesn't become shy. But yeah, we're going to see where we go from there. I might add some community fish with him, some shiners or something like that. As far as the scape, I want some carpets. I have dwarf sage. Dwarf sage, I think, is native to the U.S. I'm not sure. I know jungle fowl can be found in New Jersey, but I'm not sure about dwarf sage. But it can survive these winters here in the U.S. But yeah, I have dwarf sage over there. I'm going to allow it to fill in. I have some Anacris. I know Anacris is native to the U.S. And yeah, I'm just going to let this guy be the main focal point of this tank. So yeah, everyone, this is the 75-gallon native aquarium. Now, even though I pretty much made up my mind to make this pumpkin seed the only sunfish of the aquarium, I still want to know what you guys think. If any of you have kept native fish before, let me know what you would do in this situation. But yeah, he's going to be the alpha and only fish of this aquarium. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about the tank overall. Let me know what you guys think about the scape. Thank you guys for taking the time to watch this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Catch you guys on the next one.